So while I was going on that rant of ages, my laptop ran out of memory, and we're gonna have to do this in two parts. It's it's always the Daily Wire that makes me do that, by the way, or at least someone from there. Um, those on the right elected Trump more to fight those like McKay than to fight those like Nancy Pelosi. So here's my question, Ben. If you base who you vote for off of pop culture instead of politics, why are you a political commentator? Go to TMZ where you belong. That's why they reveal in Trump's tweets and his willingness to slam anyone who knocks him. Or revel, sorry. Yeah, and that's being very silly because Trump supporters are usually pretty silly. Trump doesn't take, for lack of a better word, shit. It's funny because that's what he just called that one representative who probably said something. I already forgot who he is, and Trump decided to insult him. That's how memorable the people Donald Trump insult are, typically. And conservatives have been taking it for far too long. I mean, you only got all three branches of government, and for that matter, have had your severe influence on the government since the 90s, honestly, when the Christian Coalition took over the Republican Party. Or heck, we'll go even farther back. Conservatives have always had at least some representation in government. I mean, the definition of conservatism is keeping things the way they are. Basically, anyone who votes on a negation for a bill to change anything is being conservative in that area. I'm sorry, but I refuse to believe your nonsense victim complex, Ben. It doesn't make any sense, and you have to be aware of that. There's one problem for conservatives, however. They're missing that McKay and his colleagues aren't the target audience. The anti-Bush films bomb because most Americans don't see politics the way McKay does. Again, as something that could be filmed and made into a dramatization, I think a lot of Americans see politics like that. There are several popular political dramatizations. They do appreciate class in the Oval Office, and they do take dignity seriously. That's why Bush won re-election in 2004. Literally nothing in that statement was correct, for the record. To McKay's horror, the best revenge against Hollywood is political success, not temporary Carthic blowback, which is why Republicans and President Trump would do well to remember that strategic cultural warfare is useful, but if conservatism isn't advanced, McKay and his ilk will sleep better at night. I have no clue what that last part was even supposed to mean. So, to be clear, Hollywood is very mean to Ben Shapiro because they would not let him act, most notably because he's not tall enough to play any of the parts. They have to like move the camera really far down in order to see him. And then the actors are like, and then you just see like the actor's waist at that point. You know what? I'm gonna end with this. This is from Candace Owens. It's unbelievably wrong that Democrats are trying to conflate our hard-working Latino American community with the unlawful and crime-ridden illegal caravan. Are they even Latinos? I thought Latinos are purely from Mexico. Maybe I'm actually confusing something here. I don't know. Latino Americans, some of the hardest working people in the country, you know, including those illegal immigrants who typically do jobs that most Americans don't like doing, should reject this association. Time for a hashtag Legxit. Now, just, another one of these, really? So soon after the last one. Trying to get, what even is the percentage of Latino Americans in the U.S. Now, I'm actually curious. I don't think it's even 10%. For the record, I checked the Blexit website. Literally none of their inaccurate nonsense has been corrected since I originally did my segment on them. But here's something. Did you know that there's a Blexit Twitter? It hasn't been updated in about a week, but it does exist. Here are some tweets from them. People that have made the hashtag Blexit know that illegal immigration directly and negatively impacts the black labor force. And there's mixed evidence of that. It harms them in the same way free trade does. In the short term, yes, but in the long term, there are several benefits. Democrats want common sense gun control. We want common sense illegal immigrant control, implying anyone who passed their laws thought they weren't common sense, but okay. Remember, it is impossible for the Democrats to win any national election without the black vote. You know, I hate to be that guy, but African Americans are only about 13% of the population, and I don't even think half of that vote. So this is just wrong. Sorry. Imagine if the Democratic Party places as much time and emotion on the 3.7 million black children living in poverty as they do on illegal immigrants. What do you think the war on poverty was, by any chance? That was Lyndon Johnson, who you guys have insulted, but was the most friendly towards African American president at that time. You know, considering he sort of signed the Civil and Voting Rights Acts, directly trying to help people in poverty. That's what the war on poverty was. It's what the Great Society was. So that's just nonsense. Anyway, that's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.